I just left Astroworld Festival, and let me say this. As someone who has been to every Astro Fest this was completely different. It was awful. I passed out because people were pushing up against me so much that I could not breathe. Sam got people to apparently crowd surf my unconscious body to the security guard, and I got carried to a little section behind GA and put down on a stool thing. When I woke up, I had a water bottle in my lap and had no clue what had happened. When I stood up, I looked around and people were getting carried out with eyes rolled back into their heads by security bleeding from their nose and mouth. I yelled, "Has anybody checked a pulse?" The security guard, frantic, asked me to please help him. I checked 2 people and 1 did not have a pulse. I told them I was an ICU nurse, and then another security guard, hearing that, said, "Please come help us." He takes me to the part of the crowd behind GA, where I see 3 bodies sprawled out and people who I assume were medics or medical staff doing CPR. I immediately see that there is not enough medics for this, so I relieve 1 medic of CPR. I ask where the ambu bag is, where the AED is, where the stretcher and ambulance is, where any is, and they said essentially there is none. There is 1 ambu bag, 1 stretcher, and 1 AED for 3, now 4 people, who are pulseless and blue. People from the crowd were trying to help. Teenagers are doing CPR, trying to help, but they are doing it incorrectly. Then I see there are other people doing CPR on people who still have a pulse, but nobody has done a pulse check. It was an absolute freak show. I lost Sam for I do not even know how long, but for the remainder of the concert I was doing compressions, bagging and helping move people to stretchers, and checking pulses on new bodies, as they got crowd surfed to where we were. People were trampled, crushed. There was no cell service to call for more help. People were begging the crew operating the stage lights and stuff around us to stop the concert, and they would not. I am so disappointed and sad. Finally, cops showed up with more stretchers and started getting people out, but I know at least 2 individuals had been pulseless for 15 minutes minimum before they got on a stretcher.